anybody who can join or see this later. Hello, hello. Thank you to my fellow 15 co-hosts for admitting folks into the room. I really appreciate that. And okay, yes, if you want to just share where you're from in the chat, that would be wonderful. Oh, hello, Joanna. Hi, Barry. It's so good to have you here. Hi, Joanna. Hi. Awesome. I'll let you all keep sharing in the chat. And during this entire presentation, we would encourage all of you to share in the chat any feelings, comments, reflections, resources, anything that you want to share, please feel free. And if you have any specific questions for any of the individuals who are going to be presenting today, please do feel free to share them in the chat. We will have a dedicated Q&A at the end of the session. So we're going to be moving through a presentation for everyone who is here, all 16 of the 2021 cohort. And
good night. Sorry.
And we're just going to get started right now. So as I said, my name is Danielle Khan Da Silva. It's really good to have you all here. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the very proud mentor for this group. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them. And I'll share a little bit more about me in a moment. But first, I just want to recognize that I am currently on Treaty 13, the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Huron-Wendat, the Anishinaabe, Chippewa, and Haudenosaunee peoples. And this is also home to many diverse First Nation, Inuit, and Métis peoples. And knowing that you're all joining us from different lands, I want to encourage you all to take a moment and just acknowledge the land that you're in your own way, and to acknowledge those original people who have been custodians of the land and protecting the land for thousands of years. I also just want to invite you to place your feet on the earth if you're able, or place your feet on the ground, or even just hold the soles of your feet if you're sitting down, rolling your shoulders back and making sure that your heart space is open to receive what is here for you today. I invite you to take deep breaths and to really invite that prana into your bodies. And throughout today's session, I invite you also to imagine the kind of world that you wish to live in. So this land has been protected for thousands of years by the original custodians. And I just want to also say that by putting land back into the hands of Indigenous communities, we can ensure its protection for future generations. We're all connected to the land. This is something that I strongly believe, and therefore we must all protect it fiercely. We must uplift and give land back wherever possible. And we must uphold the knowledge, traditions, the elders, and the children of Indigenous communities who have protected this land for thousands of years. Living in a capitalist world that demands our consumption is draining for our spirits. We're not here to consume. We're here endowed with gifts that are meant to be shared and meant to be uplifted, because when we heal, when we grow and live in our gifts, we're essentially healing the collective as well as ourselves. This is why decolonization is an integral part of the program that you're going to be hearing about, and why I'm exceptionally proud of this cohort. When we answer this call and seek to infuse love into all that we do and create in this world, we're elevating the collective. We're effectively creating and reimagining the future, dismantling so that we can rebuild a world that works for everyone. And this is also why I decided to start mentoring. I myself have been really lucky, really privileged to have world-class mentorship in my life. People like Christina Mittermeier, Amy Vitale, folks in different places at National Geographic and different institutions like that, but also elders and knowledge keepers like Lorene Blue Waters, like Crystal Sinclair, like Carolyn Crawley, my friend Nikki Sanchez, Melina Miawapan, so many land and water protectors across this country, but also all of the individuals who are in this mentorship program. I also consider them my mentors as well. Because of all of these mentors and because of all of these teachers, I myself have been able to soar and manifest on levels that I wasn't able to imagine before. Today, I'm a storyteller, a social entrepreneur, a land protector, or conservationist. so-called conservationists. I work with brands such as National Geographic, Sony, Adobe, Patagonia, and I work with grassroots communities and NGOs all over the world. I'm incredibly privileged. I'm the founder or co-founder of several initiatives, most notably Photographers Without Borders, Campaigns for Change, the Sumatran Wildlife Sanctuary, the Dandelion Initiative, and my own production company, Danielle Da Silva Productions, as well as the Reclaim Power Mentorship Program. I'm a practitioner and student of the ancient arts of my South Asian ancestors, which include yoga, Ayurveda, pranic healing, and astrology. And I find these tools useful in working through the emotional blocks that do come up when we are actively working to come into alignment. And of course, building alignment and integrity are some of the keys to manifestation. And that's what this is all about. And that's why I'm paying it forward as a mentor to many. This is the power of mentorship. I started this program in 2019 with Sony's support, and then I felt called to continue in 2020 once the pandemic was announced. The response was overwhelming, and the program was expanded from 2 people to over 16. Today, it gives me great honor to share with you all the journeys and stories of these 16 individuals. Each of these special people is a part of the Reclaim Power Mentorship in 2021, and I truly believe that each of these individuals is going to be instrumental in creating the world that we all collectively imagine. Today, we're going to hear from each of these people, and there will be a Q&A and an announcement after that I want you to all stay for. So please feel free, as I said before, to share, comment, and ask questions in the chat as we go. I'll note them down and we'll come back to them at the end. All right. So we are going to get started now. I'm going to share my screen with you all. And we're going to start this journey today with Alexical. Alexa, I welcome you to unmute.
Hello, yes. Eek, so I'm up first. And hi, everyone. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. I know your support and just being here for us really means a lot to everyone. We've all been working really hard this year and in the years before that. And so just thank you for showing up, helping us continue our creative journeys. I am a Pacific Northwest born water spirit, and I've been falling in the water for many decades now. I'm a photographer both above and below the water, as well as a painter and using eco-friendly mediums. So first, I'm going to give a brief synopsis of the photos that I created for this online exhibit that you're seeing an image from right now. And I'll go through that really quick, and then I want to share some personal information about myself as well. So as Danny's scrolling down, she'll get down a little bit further in the first image. We're almost there. Yes, this one. So I wrote up a whole kind of poetic story about the water cycle that you can read here. And this first image, we're seeing the apparent lack of water. It appears that there's no water here. We can see the dry, cracked lake bed, but even in its absence, it's there. There's snow on the mountaintops behind. The clouds have water in them. Even the footprint of water you can see in the dry, cracked lake bed. And so from here, we find out water is everywhere, even in space. And that takes us to the next image. If we scroll down, perfect. Thank you, Danny, so much. So we can see the comet Neowise here, and even in the comet's tail, there's water, as well as in the lake that we can see the reflection of the comet in as we scroll down a little further. And then, so from this lake, we flow into a stream. And in this stream, then you can see some little juvenile steelhead that are super curious as to what the heck this giant human in a full body 7mm wetsuit with a hood is doing looking at them. And so from this stream, then we flow out to the seashore as we scroll down here. And we see a school of fish at sunset dancing with me for about an hour, which was amazing. And then so from the shore, we flow out to the surf zone. We see a conch atop some dead coral, and I just see that there's life even in a zone that appears to not have any. So from the shore or the surf, then we flow out to the patch reef as we scroll down to the next image. Here we go, and this is in the Tuamotus on the South Pacific, and we see some fluorescing coral with storm clouds behind. And so then from the patch reef, we flow back out to a little bit deeper water, and we can see the deep reef with a man-made abandoned fort behind it. This ends our cycle as we evaporate up into the clouds and water begins its journey again. And why I incorporated water into this is kind of a running theme in my life. I am a water spirit, and I have struggled with PTSD since childhood, since I was an infant, and I've never known a life without it. It's left me feeling really alone a lot of the time, really looking for belonging in a world that I didn't seem to fit into. And the places that I have been able to find some meaning and connection were nature, and in water specifically. And so part of why I create these images, and I've started doing these paintings as well, I want to share with everyone some of the hope that I've found, and the hope that we can do better and we can change things. If I can get better and thrive and have interactions and loving relationships with humans after what I've been through, we all can. We all struggle, and these past years have shown us how really hard it can be. And through that, I just want to bring a message that we still all can do this together. We just have to choose every day to show up and do our best. And with that, I want to thank all of you again for being here from the bottom of my heart, and all my fellow mentorship people. I can't wait for what everybody's about to share. They're incredible, and it just blows my mind what everyone's been working on, and I'm so honored to be included here with everyone. So just thank you to all the guests for showing up. Please send us questions. Please follow us on Instagram. We would love to hear from you. Your support helps encourage us to continue our journeys and just to keep sharing. So just thank you so much, and love you all.
Oh, thank you so much, Alexa. Oh my goodness, that was so wonderful. And it was so beautiful just to hear from you and about your work. Just a really quick question. How are you feeling about the year ahead?
Good, excited, nervous. I've got a lot of work to do, and I feel really prepared, so much more prepared than a year ago. And I have a wonderful foundation with which to move forward, and a support group, and just I could go on and on, but I'm feeling good.
You are an incredible soul. It's been such a pleasure working with you. Alexa is somebody who's really committed. She makes a commitment and says she's going to be there. She says she's going to do something, and she does it. So I really want to acknowledge you for just your entire spirit, your energy, all of the hard work that you put into everything you do, and for your beautiful talents, your beautiful gifts that you're sharing so freely with the world. I really appreciate you, and you're making a huge difference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, next up we have Nyla Azmi, and I will let Nyla introduce herself.
All right. Hello, everyone. Horas. So my name is Nyla. Horas. So Horas is basically the Bataknese, my indigenous language. So I am a Batak indigenous conservationist and storyteller based in Sumatra, Indonesia. So I've been very, very honored to be part of this mentorship, and it changed my life forever, that I would be able to tell. And on these occasions, I would like to share my journey throughout the year, even before, and all many dreams and the things that I'm excited to begin from now. So yeah, I'm going to take you to my story about the lizard ecosystem. So probably for some of you here, ever heard about Sumatra, the land of the exotic, like the forest, all of the amazing species. We have orangutan, rhino, we have tiger, elephant coexist in the wild together. It's the life, like the real life of the notebook. But apparently, me, the Batak person, the present generations, I don't know about forest. I don't know about the orangutan. I am not, like the privileged people who live in the countries that you live, that you can easily access every information, books and everything. I don't know what I've got. And ever since I get out from my village, my tiny village, which is inside of the palm oil plantation, I met this amazing creature. It's called orangutan. Little did I know that this is endemic creature. The special thing that we have, and also the representations of the Sumatran people, majestic, powerful, but also fragile at the same time. Ever since the first day I met the orangutan, I met Mawas, that is the indigenous language to call orangutan. Ever since I met Mawas, it just changed my life forever, because it basically reminds me as a human. And then I continue the journey. I try to just remember and keep, this amazing creature in my heart until I met another creature as well. Little did I know that the creature that you call elephant is called by big grandpa in my language. Little did I know that. That's because I'm so disconnected. That's because what I know is just involving in the industry, capitalisms, or anything related to that. Little thing that I know that I have this life surrounded by amazing forest, surrounded by amazing soul. And then I continue the journey again. It takes me not only to the deeper of the forest, to the looser ecosystem and other protected forests. It takes me to outside of the forest itself to understand what happened to our people, who are me, and it takes me to the border of the national park. Little did I know that there's so many people that basically secluded, thinking that they're poachers, thinking that they're threatened, given the threat for the forest. Is that true? So I continue the journey again, trying to understand what happened. And then, next pictures, Didi. I understand that what is outside the forest. And now that I know this is the problem of it, the source problem, the root problem of it, the forest that we see at the moment is threatened by something that completely foreign for us, that completely not connected to all of us. All of this palm oil, all of everything, rubber, or basically brought by the Dutch colonial, Portuguese, and many planters from Europe. Little that they know, little by little, everything that was introduced to us, taking our land, taking our identity, until we lost everything, until I, as a present generations, don't even know about the orangutan, even forget about our big grandfather, our dato, our oppo. And that's how I felt a little bit desperate to see that how much that the things that I knew was basically stolen from us. Next. And more, I connect myself to the buffer zone area. The buffer zone where the human, all of the indigenous people, the local people basically live outside and see, trapped outside and inside of the forest, but somehow feel very disconnected. Next, Didi. And I'm very happy. Next picture, baby, please. And I'm very happy that I met so many people. One of them is Drama. So this is one of my idol in conservation in Sumatra. He is indigenous. And he's like a father for me and saying that, Nyla, we are part of the ecosystem. We lost our role. We forgot who we are, but we always can find a way back home. And I keep that in mind and I believe that. That's why I decided myself to become a conservationist, to basically get the challenge, to basically face the challenge, even as a woman who choose, like to fight for the stigma, to work in the forest. And that's, like because I know that I make the great decisions. Next, Didi. And this is the leisure ecosystem. Well, finding the orangutan, finding the elephant, my big grandpa is basically, like a calling that bringing me back to the forest. And I just love myself even better before I knew the forest. Ever since I knew this leisure ecosystem, ever since I found my home here, ever since I connect myself to the forest, to connect myself to my ancestor, to the forest, to imagine that every time I roam in the forest, that is basically my ancestor did a long time ago before all of the colonializations. That's why every time I see all of the indigenous people that basically reclaiming their role as the protectors and caretakers, because we know it's not only our duty, it is our birthright as the indigenous people, as the indigenous Sumatra. And more, we would like to invite people, we would like to invite indigenous people to basically reclaim their power. So that's why I basically this year established my own organizations that focusly encourage women, indigenous women and other marginalized community to reclaim their power, because we believe that we are protectors of the land and it's completely our right as the protectors and as the caretakers. So thank you very much, guys. I'm hoping that you guys can check the work that I do, the organizations that I established throughout this mentorship. I began this year with nothing, zero, lost, desperate, whatever you want to call. But this year, I raised up even higher than my old self, better than I imagined, and I know that I hold the power and the key to create a better future for this planet. So thank you for listening to my story.
Terima kasih, Didi. Oh my goodness.
Sama-sama.
She's the most beautiful storytellers I know, and I'm really grateful. And also, she hasn't mentioned that she's a 2-time author of children's books. She just authored her second children's book, which was inspired by her nephew. She's just one of those people that creates and creates and creates. And I'm pretty sure earlier today she was at a protest for gender violence in conservation, and now she's here with us at 2 a.m. and coming to you from Indonesia. So thank you so much, Nyla, for being here with us and for sharing. And you've always had the power, babe. So
Yay.
thank you so much. Nyla will try to stick around to answer any questions that you have, but it's very late where she is, so don't be surprised if she drops off. So send her your love, send her your messages, and go follow her. Also, go follow Alexa, because I did post her Instagram in the chat. I love you both. Thank you so much for starting us off on such a wonderful note. Next, we are going to go to Anya. Anya.
Hello.
Hello.
Greetings
Hello.
from Kingston, Jamaica. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you guys for all being here. And it's just so lovely to kind of be in this shared space and be hearing from you got all of these great mentees who I've been with this last year. This is really inspiring coming here together. So my name is Anya Freya. I am an Australian Jamaican filmmaker, curator, and artist. And most recently in 2020, I also launched a skincare brand called Freya Essence. So I'm just going to keep this presentation very short because I actually have a film that I want to show you guys. But living and working in Jamaica for the last 5 years, creating video portraits has been a way to really help me to connect to this part of my identity growing up in Australia. So I came to this mentorship with two kind of trajectories. I have my filmmaking, storytelling practice, and then I just launched this skincare brand. And I suppose I was kind of figuring out how do these two things exist with me as an artist. And throughout the mentorship, I came to this appreciation that both of these practices speak to my mission and my purpose, which essentially is creating healing and loving space for knowledge making and curiosity within BIPOC communities. So I want to share a film which I created in 2020 on an artisan who makes the coconut oil that I use within my oils. And I feel like this film speaks to both of these practices and has been a way for me to kind of understand, this expression of two parts of my creativity. So enjoy.
Thank you so much, Anya. I'm just going to hope that it plays. Please let me know if you can hear this all right.
Growing up in rural St. Mary, I grew up believing that healing is found in nature. Coconut is the tree of life. That one plant can provide so many healing and remedies for everything. Because coconut oil comes from the rural part of Jamaica and is more poor people use it. People with money don't see the benefit of it. You understand? But as you progress, you realize you have to go back to what work. You know, you have to go back to the roots. Handmade to me is so much better. It's more work, but it's the experience. And the experience comes through tradition, through ancestors, through the spirit. The handmade way of extracting the cream is like doing pottery, and you're extracting what you want from it and you speak to it. It's like you're having a connection with it and you're calling for the oil. You know, that's what it is to me. That's how I feel when I'm squeezing it. I like doing it without gloves, and I like to do it with my bare hand because based on the richness of the cream, you can actually see the oil and feel the oil, and you know that you're going to get a good quality oil. Instead of boiling it, I allow God to separate it through what we call fermentation, and it's a natural separation of the oil from the cream, and you get a pure, silky, smooth, rich oil. It's like picking the coconut and just squeezing it. That's how it is to me. I live by it. I walk it, I sleep it, I drink it, everything. It's like the ancestors drawing me back to go back to the traditional way of doing things because it works.
Wow, thank you so much, Anya. That is so beautiful. And I think that just is a great introduction for those that haven't met Anya or seen her work before. A great introduction. But there's a lot more where that came from.
Thank you.
Did you want to share anything else, Anya, about the behind the scenes or what that was like? Because I love the way that you expressed that so poetically. Like, I just wanted to go and like touch and smell and like be with the coconuts myself.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, and that's been a big part of my filmmaking practice in Jamaica and my platform Goat Curry Gallery, because basically it's these conversations that I'm having with people on a daily basis that I'm capturing because they're allowing me this sort of insight to this part of my identity, my Jamaican culture that I never grew up with. So it would be like Jennifer, for example, or maybe I met her walking on the beach and we had an interaction and she tells me about this, you know, spiritual connection as she's squeezing oil. And for me, that's just like, oh, wow. Like, you know, that kind of spoke to something that, because this is an old time way of making oil. So it's like kind of getting these little parts of a puzzle, which make me feel like I'm kind of getting closer and closer to a part of my ancestry that I never grew up with. So the rest of the films that I make, which you can see on Goat Curry Gallery, all kind of have that sort of intimate, wanting to kind of recreate those intimate connections that I'm constantly having. But now moving into the oils and, you know, meeting Jennifer and now working with her in terms of creating these body oils, I feel like there's a lot of space for these kind of two places to coexist. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for your artistry and your gifts, and for, you know, sharing that wisdom with us, because I think it's so important that we realize that connection to what we make, what we are. I don't like the word consume, but what we are, you know, choosing to bring into our lives, put on our bodies, you know, just interact with, and how she felt like she wants to touch it with her hands and like have it all over her so she can actually feel and like witness that oil coming out. Like, I think all of that is embodying so much of, I know, your ontology, but also so many Indigenous ontologies. And I just want to honor that. And thank you for sharing that with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Danny. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next I'm going to be sharing a little bit about someone who is also very special, but who cannot be here today. She's in between Sweden and Mexico right now and couldn't join us, but I'm going to share about her because she's one of my mentees. Her name is Christina Egerstrom. And she is not only an incredible photographer, she's the one who photographed all these beautiful items, but she's also the co-founder of Kane Collective. And Kane is her dream come true. And again, at the beginning of the year, she had an idea, but didn't actually have it materialized. And throughout the year, she's made her vision into a real business. So I'm very proud of her. Her current collection is a collection from the Yucatan Peninsula, from the indigenous communities that reside there. And their goal at Kane is to have different indigenous artisans come into their collective to share their work with the world. So it's really to create an online marketplace for indigenous artisans who aren't able to access that kind of a marketplace otherwise. So it's really beautiful. And I just want to share some of the items here. And just want to say how wonderful it has been to work with Christina and how proud of her I am. And I hope you can all just wish her well and also follow her. You can follow Kane Collective at the Instagram handle I just shared in the chat. So thank you all for listening and for giving her your good vibes. While she can't be here, she'll be watching this later. So we love you, Christina. Thank you so much. And all of these beautiful handmade items are made by Mayan people on the Yucatan Peninsula, and all portions of profits go to support the community, of course. Thank you so much. And now we are going to go to Damari. Is Damari here? Hello, Damari. How you doing, buddy? Oh, I haven't co-hosted you. That's why you can't unmute. There you go.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not letting me unmute myself. So I'm just going to piggyback off of everyone else, just saying thanks, everyone, for taking time out of your Sunday to be here with us. We really, really do appreciate it. We have everyone here has been just working truly hard this year to just work to develop themselves, and it's just been an amazing journey to I call it, we each worked individually, but I think we worked a bit more together than we think, just supporting each other each week, and checking in with each other and just uplifting each other. So it's just been an amazing collaborative effort. And I'm amazing for all of these beautiful friendships that I've developed virtually, but it's just everyone's all over the place. So that's really feels good. My name is Damari, and I am an editorial photographer located in New York. Before this mentorship, I was just this kind of wandering photographer that had some sense of idea of what it is that I wanted to do, but it was more of me just taking things to kind of take them. And this mentorship really helped me focus on what it is that I am and what it is that I do and what it is that I desire to continue doing. And so what you're seeing here on this site is from my personal work, but also with this mentorship, it helped me kind of develop, tie the two things together. So what I found is that I really like working with people, and I really like working with creatives. And in my regular 9-to-5, I deal with creatives who don't really happen to know how to really market themselves or what it is that they truly do. And so I took what I learned and applied this to kind of my business plan. And so I love working with creatives to help them kind of sort out what it is that they do. And what I really focus on in that area is food, fashion, and music. And then in my personal work, I take those same elements and I have two things: personal reflection and interpersonal connections. So with personal reflections, I think about food, fashion, and music, of how it relates to me navigating kind of the world as a Black person and what that means. So I'm always looking at identity because it's extremely important, especially like considering the way that I grew up. And then with interpersonal connections, I take food, fashion, and music, and I try to show people how we are all connected through these things. And so it's just, one's a personal journey, and then the other is taking that personal journey and showing you how you connect to it as well. So as we might be all different, we do have all of these common connections that we can't live without, which is we have to eat. Our fashion tells a lot about our identity, and we all love music. Whether you say you don't or not, we all love music, and we can't live without it. It makes everything that much better. These images are from two of my projects that I did this year while in this program. One is of my mother-in-law. It is called Strawberry Soda, and it speaks to her about her roots to Juneteenth. I just learned a lot about Juneteenth a couple of years ago, and to know that my mother-in-law was really involved in that and her roots come from that, I wanted to really document that. And then the other is an ongoing project that was meant to be a single project, single to shoot and done, but it turned into something bigger. It's called Black Coffee, and what it's doing is it's documenting Black people in the specialty coffee industry, and what their experience is like navigating that that area. And it's been like an enriching process. It's taught me so much about coffee and where it comes from and the ethics centered around it. It's just a massive thing that can go down all of these different rabbit holes, but all of those rabbit holes are extremely important. And so I'm just taking them all in. And so that is kind of me and what I do in sort of a nutshell. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Damari. And as you can see, you've got many beautiful comments talking about the richness and the luxuriousness of your photography. So yeah, I echo those statements. Thank you for sharing. What are you most excited about moving forward? Oh, wait. I'm going to ask you to unmute again. Hold on.
Okay, I can hear you. Thank you, everyone. And can you say that question one more time, Dean?
What are you most excited about going forward?
I think I'm excited about, for the first time in years since I started photography, is that I have a plan, and like you can see it. And it, like, I noticed the difference between when I didn't have a business plan or just a general plan and versus what I have now. And I feel like I'm more set up for success than I was previously to this mentorship. And it's like I've learned so much about myself, and I learned that I do not want to work for corporate America. Like, I do want to own my own, and I want to employ people and help them grow and learn, and then help them move on to do what it is that they really want to do. And so I think the biggest thing is just like, I'm excited for a plan, because I mean, I can't share everything with everyone. I wish I could, but there's like a massive plan that I really want to set up this year during to do more fine art printing and teaching that, and bringing life back to print, which this plan helps me work on. So I'm excited to have a plan.
It feels so good to have a plan. I love it.
Yes.
Amazing. All right. Well, that's all I wanted to hear. I appreciate it. Damari, thank you so much. All right, we're gonna go to Dina, my good friend Dina, next. And
Okay.
hello, my love.
Hi,
So glad to have you here.
I'm so glad to be here. Am I speaking?
Well, let me ask you a question, Dina.
Okay.
So I actually want to give a little bit of background, because this is my late baby, Max, my little Chihuahua who passed away a few months ago, July 18th. I'll never forget it. Dina was actually there that day, and Dina's also been there for us as a family, me, Max, and my other Chihuahua, Whisper, for the last year and a bit, almost a couple of years. And she's been our family photographer. And so I just want to start by saying I can't tell you how important your work is, and how important the work of any photographer who documents families is. These are those moments that you'll never, get back. And through photography, you can remember, you can heal, you can, grieve. And these photographs, I think, if they were printed, they would have been so worn by now. Thank goodness. Thank goodness they're in digital format, but they are being printed and put up into a little altar for Max. But anyway, just my small preamble. I know you're not feeling well today, Dina, so I'll just ask you one question.
Okay.
Tell us just a little bit about how you've come to documenting families, how this experience was for you with Max, and what you're hoping to do in the future.
Okay. I've been documenting families for a very long time. It wasn't my intention. I started out like 25 years ago as a landscape and travel still life photographer. I didn't want to shoot people at all. I didn't feel the connection. But over time and with life changes, I had some kids and things happened, and it brought that all to the surface. And for the last, decade or so, I've been pretty much strictly shooting events, family events, and, children at play and kind of stuff like that. It means everything to me to be able to capture the important moments of people's lives. As I found out through documenting a lot of kind of, I don't know, indulgent affairs type thing. And that was when it was just like to make money, and, you know, everybody's saying, oh, you know, your work is so good and you should shoot this and you should shoot that. And it just felt empty. So kind of was a blessing when COVID hit and canceled the event industry for a short time, because it brought me to Danielle and to the realization of, you know, I want to save the world. I want to be able to do so many things with my photography. But when it comes down to it, I'm meant to capture these moments, which are the most important to the people and the most important to me, because the best feeling for me is when I pop open Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is, and a picture I happen to take of someone is their profile, or they're showing it, or whatever it may be. But it's mostly about connection for me now. And it's been a rough year, but it's all come together. And with the guidance of Danielle and the group support and everything, I've found out a lot about myself and a lot about my work. And things are just getting better and better, even though I don't see it right now. It's all going in the right direction. And I do have a vision for the future with my photography work. It's like getting through the trauma of the years of having to do it for the money. And that right there. Okay, I got it.
No, I'm gonna start crying too.
Yeah, I can't even.
Are like everything, you know. I'm not
I know.
And you said it perfectly, Gina. Like, thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, thank you.
You know.
And thank all of you. You are so inspirational, all of you. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is a great, great group of people. And I'm honored to be a part of this.
Oh, and we're so honored to have you in this community, in this family. And I'm so grateful to you for capturing these moments and for always being there and just having the biggest heart. You know, you're such a wonderful, wonderful human being and a wonderful addition to the collective human spirit. So thank you. Thank you so much. You're such a special friend. And thank you all for witnessing those beautiful photographs as well. Very emotional and means a lot to everyone, to both of us especially.
It means everything to me.
Okay, thank you. Take a big breath. We're gonna move on to next, who is Erin Andrews. Erin Andrews.
Hello. You know, that was so beautiful. I'm not sure how I can follow that. But no, the feelings are mutual because so hello everybody, first of all. I like to jump into things, but hello, thank you for joining. And yeah, so my work, I'm not an artist, I'm not a photographer. So what I actually want to talk about today is not my actual work. So I'm the founder and executive director of a nonprofit, and we work on climate solutions. And all of that is great, but I actually want to focus on probably like the most significant shift in my mindset around this work this year, because I think that's what's been the most transformative thing, being surrounded with this group, obviously, Danny, with your guidance, as well as just like the conversations I think that I've had with people one-on-one throughout the year from this program has been really, really impactful to me. So yeah, thank you to like even the group for just like being so awesome and being so, I don't know, just great people. But yeah, so I don't have too much on here, but I do want to kind of show the transformation, I would say, of how I was approaching my climate work before, which I think a lot of people, when you start and like you find a problem, you want to solve it, you maybe start a business, you maybe start an organization, and we feel like because of the system and the society that we live in, that we have to do it all and everything's on us to do. But what's been probably the biggest transformation for me is that my nonprofit initially was founded with the intention of running programs and projects to help like build climate centric infrastructure. So our work is focused on the circular economy. So things that we would need in order to reduce waste. And initially I was thinking of it from like, okay, Impact Zero is going to be the organization that like makes it happen for everybody. But through learning about not just, doing better work, but also decolonizing the way that we're doing work, especially in an area like climate, we transitioned from being we're going to tell people what they need and build it, to we're actually just going to empower people to do what they know they need, and we're just going to help them do whatever they need to do to build systems for their communities that actually work for them. And I'll give you an example of how this actually manifested in my work. So initially, this is me. But if we go down, you can see like I was doing like panel discussions, and I still do speaking, but everything was like, this is how we're going to do it. Like I was kind of coming at it a little bit from like a savior perspective, I'm not going to lie, of like, this is how, we're going to do the circular economy, and this is what's going to happen, and this is how Impact Zero is going to build it. And so I used to say, okay, we're going to do like textile waste diversion, for example. And so we were going to get a bunch of people together and like run this project. But instead, what we do now is we have a program where people bring their ideas to us, and we say, okay, we'll support you with like accountability. We'll help you project manage if that's something that you need. We'll connect you with partners. We'll like introduce you to the community and just like help you do you. And it's been way more impactful because then it's not all on us. We're doing it as a community together. We have so much, like this picture actually is our launch party of like initially having the community meet each other and saying, okay, we're gonna do this together, you're not alone. Because I think it solves so many problems of people being burnt out, feeling like they can't solve the climate crisis because as an individual we can't. But then also it kind of like flips it on its head and says, actually, this can be really fun and we can do this together and we can empower each other. And, any mental strains or any stresses kind of disappear. So this photo is me when I was doing my first business, which was me trying to like, kind of like save the world. And you can see, it's like, we have refilleries and we have reusable products to help people do things, but I wasn't really like doing it as a community. This is a for-profit business where I was just like selling stuff. And it was just a completely different, like this picture to me is just a completely different person, because this was me trying to like push something, as an individual, versus now, like if the pictures from before of like me speaking with the community, doing it with people, getting people to actually have their solutions be supported, it's just a completely different frame of mind. And I think that was a long-winded way of saying, going from like an individual way of thinking to a community-based, people-first way of thinking in a space, especially in climate, I think has just been like really impactful to the organization. And we've had a lot of growth since transitioning this way because people need help, they want help. And we can connect them with people who can. Like, we're not going to help everyone, but you sure know that like I can connect you with someone who probably can help you, right? And so just coming at it from community is way more fun. And yeah, I don't know. It's just been a great year, and I feel like we're on like a really good path now. So I'm really grateful to everyone for helping me get to this point so far.
Oh my goodness, Erin, how proud I am of you for your vulnerability. I think that the most powerful leaders that I look up to are ones that are willing to show a changed mindset, are willing to change, willing to transform, and to express that, and to acknowledge and recognize, how we've behaved in the past. Because all of us are, there's so much built into us. Colonialism is so ingrained in us, that mindset. And so that means we're all, complicit in some way, shape, or form. And being able to recognize that is the first step to divesting from that mindset, dismantling it, and then rebuilding as you're doing. And I couldn't be more proud of you, Erin. So Thank you for sharing that with everyone. I think that is such a powerful piece that you just shared. Thank you so much, Erin. All right. So I feel like this is getting really juicy and I'm loving it. We are now going to go to the lovely Heather Phipps. Hello, Heather. I'm just going to pull up your beautiful page. There you are. Hello. Tell the beautiful people all about you.
Thank you so much. I just want to say a huge thank you to Danny for this truly wonderful program and the support that she's given all of us through the years and to the group for being just an inspiring group of people to be around. And I'm just so grateful for this experience. My name is Heather Phipps. I'm a filmmaker, and I consider myself a community builder and a multimedia designer. And this year has been really a reclamation of what I consider to be my calling or my purpose. I found that at the beginning of this year, the creative work that I was participating in was very disconnected from what I really wanted to be saying and the ways that I really wanted to be showing up in the world. And so in demonstration of that, I feel like this year has really, the word has been change. And I feel like I've been an observer of change. And in these images that I'm sharing today and in the video that I prepared, it really speaks to the change that I've been able to come to. So I'll share the first couple of images with you and the story behind them. And then I'll talk about the video. So this is an image of change that's happening before our eyes. I had been at this location 10 years earlier and had been 15 miles further out from the ice field. And so the ice had receded about 15 miles since the time that I last was staring at this gorgeous sheet of ice. And so again, I was observing change, but I didn't feel that I knew how I could connect to it in a bigger and more meaningful way. And then the next image, if you don't mind, is this is an area that I had visited throughout the entirety of my life. It's an area where I used to fish with my father. And there used to be a beautiful river that flowed through here that would be here every year seasonally when there was a snow melt. But there no longer is a river in this region because the snow melt has become less and less in this area. So it is stunning and powerful to stand here and feel that tremendous loss of this place. And then in the next image, this mountain is, I grew up in Big Bear Lake, California. This is a mountain that I have hiked my entire life. It's one of the most favorite places to be in the world. I've seen this region change throughout my entire life. And I'm staring in the distance at a fire that burned some of my most favorite places. And it was caused by humans at a gender reveal party, unfortunately. And so over there is the hills where I was married and the trees that framed the happiest day of my life. And watching it burn was a tremendously sad moment for me. These images confronted me with a sense of change that I needed in my life and a change that I needed in my artistry. And what I wanted to do and what I want to do now, and that I've come to really be able to articulate with the support of Danielle, is to inspire and imagine a world that's worth changing for, and to share images of nature that help us to imagine and reimagine our relationship with nature. And so I've started to photograph differently, not moments that make me feel like I'm confronting the change in nature, but make me feel like I want people who look at these images and hear my stories that I can tell about nature to confront a change that we need to make in ourselves and how we associate ourselves with the natural world. So this is a snowflake in my parents' backyard, but it just is so beautiful to me to see it in this way. Scrolling down a little bit, this is a beautiful image of a monkey that I got to witness during the sakura bloom in Japan. And I just think it's so beautiful to see it in its natural environment and just framed by such magic and beauty. This is an elk. I've visited this elk population throughout my entire life as well. And so being able to come back here and frame it in nature is something that, you know, I think it's just beautiful. And this image I love because it speaks to the ability for nature to thrive and come back. This was a camera that I found along the shoreline, and it had started to actually grow into the riverbed and be taken back by nature. So the idea that our work can be so temporary and that nature can thrive and return was very inspiring to me. This mountain has not seen snow for a while, but here are the clouds coming back and hopefully going to put some rain on some much needed trees and hills that need water. And then finally, I feel like this image just speaks to me, it looks like a brain, it looks like the mind, and it looks like a reimagining of what the world could be if we chose to believe in a future that is hopeful and inspires a change in ourselves and our culture. And I wanted to end with a quote that I just recently came upon that was truly inspiring to me, which is by Adrienne Marie Brown. All organizing is science fiction. We are bending the future together into something we have never experienced. A world where everyone experiences abundance, access, pleasure, human rights, dignity, freedom, transformative justice, peace. We long for this, and we believe it is possible. And so in this year, I've come to realize that I'd like to tell stories that inspire us to imagine in fantastical ways a different relationship to our world and to each other.
Wow, 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 wow. You had me laughing and crying, and I'm deeply inspired by you, Heather. Thank you so much. You're such a fantastic storyteller. Wow. This image just like, it speaks to the future. It's just like, let's reimagine. It's like, yeah, just the network, the neural network spreading out. We're all connected and like roots and grounding. So much here. Beautiful presentation. Thank you, Heather. I hope you all think about some questions. And yes, you can go to her website and ask her for prints. Also, you can follow her and go message her on Instagram. All righty. Well, I am so grateful to have you, Heather. You're just a wonderful addition to this group. And yeah, so inspired.
I'm so grateful to you. I could go on for another 70 minutes about just how much I admire, and I'm so grateful to you, Danny. So thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Okay, Jill. Are you ready, Jill?
Yes.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. All right, Jill, the floor is now yours.
Okay. Well, my name is Jill Fraley. I am an Appalachian by birth. My family has been there for many generations in the mountains. And I think of myself as someone who sort of sits on the fence between worlds a lot of the time. I was born into a family that relied on farming for money. But also members of my family, particularly on my father's side, were forced into coal mining because they didn't have another option. From the time that I was 8 or 9 years old, I've been incredibly shaped by that. There was one period of about 6 months when I was 8, 9 years old where I lost 4 close members of my family in only a few months. Including my grandfather, who died of beryllium poisoning. And so I've been forever in this world of being caught between being taught a philosophy of respecting the land and caring about the earth for no reason other than what it is. And then at the same time, watching around me an incredible level of destruction. So I think that that origin story for me just pretty much summarizes now how I approach life. I'm a professor. I teach property law and environmental law. And I'm also a conservation photographer, photojournalist, and artist. I've worked with an NGO in Appalachia for more than 10 years now. We represent disabled people who are harmed by mining industries. And we also bring lawsuits to challenge pollution and damage within Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia. So the big challenge in my life, the question that I'm always thinking about is how to motivate people to protect the world, especially when people don't respect the place. I think for Appalachia, the big problem is I often say that it's the ugly bug of the conservation world. And everyone wants to protect the polar bear and nobody wants to protect the ugly bug. So if someone has the feeling that Appalachia is this place that is a place of trailer parks and land that's already destroyed by mining, why do you want to step up and help it? Why does it matter? So I feel like what I do is to primarily document the reality and beauty of Appalachia. And that's hard to do in a world where what's actually sellable is stereotypes. And that's what people want to hear, but I'm fighting to get out there into the world the stories that are authentic and real. And I'm doing this in a variety of ways. I'm working on a memoir currently about growing up in Appalachia and going off to Yale, another one of those fences that I straddle all the time. I have multiple higher education degrees, including a doctorate in legal history. And I also still live within the bounds of Appalachia. So I think that what I am doing with my work is documenting what I call reasons to stay alive. Because I always think about this whole idea, the campaigns in the 1980s of Save the Planet was completely absurd. Because the planet will be fine, it just may not be a very healthy place for humans to live. So instead of saving the world, the question is, what are the reasons to stay alive? And the way that I do that is through my photography and my paintings. And as this one shows, a lot of what I do is to ask the question of what does it take to get to another viewpoint? What does it take for people to see things differently? And this is an example. I painted the jellyfish floating through the sky, thinking about whether or not we would care more, or especially, by the way, I picked the jellyfish because everybody's afraid of them, right? We don't think of them as the beautiful creature we really want to protect. We think about the dolphin as the one we really want to protect. So I think about the jellyfish. And Danny, if you will scroll down a little bit. This one I call A Sky Without Her. And the painting there is of me and my daughter, who doesn't exist and can't ever exist because I can't have children. And it's a biological impossibility for me, even with IVF. And so this is the kind of image that I wanted to create what doesn't exist. And this beautiful sky with the idea of how we look at a world differently from the things that we can see and what we can create beyond it. I like to use imagery for things that we think of as traditionally religious and bring it into the natural world as an intentional juxtaposition. And Danny, if you will scroll down a little more. And you see a lot of paths in my photography, as I am always trying to represent how we are finding our own home within the natural world as a place that we all want to be in the future.
Oh my goodness, Jill, sorry, I was scrolling so slowly because I was trying to wipe all the tears. Oh, such an incredible artist. Sorry, I'll keep going.
Thank you, Danny. And I just want to say that I really appreciate this group, in particular, because before this year, I really didn't share my paintings. I really only shared my photography, and I thought of my paintings as something that were only personal. And it has really taken the support of this group for me to move from just sharing my photography to sharing my paintings as well. So I super appreciate Danny's support and everyone else's support in doing that.
And then you're just a wonderful photographer as well. So I wanted to make sure we shared these images. Oh, Jill, I didn't know the story behind that other image, A Sky Without Her. That just tore me to pieces. So, wow, your work is so moving. I am the proud recipient of one of Jill's paintings, and everybody needs to commission a work from Jill and have one on your wall. It's just not complete without it. So please go follow Jill at Legal History Prof on Instagram. And I just have to say, Jill, like, you really are one of those women that I look up to and admire for like all your strength and just all the things you do for the world, you know, and a lot of it is thankless and a lot of it is quiet, and it's moving mountains. So I just want to acknowledge you because the people like you in the world are so needed, and just I'm so grateful for you.
Thanks so much, Danny. I appreciate that.
Beautiful. Okay, gotta collect myself. And we're gonna go to the next up, who is Laura Giusette. Aloha. Coming to you from Hawaii.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Jill, that was beautiful. And thanks for leading me in. I am a photographer, a storyteller, and a student at the University of Hawaii. I am a believer that nature always guides you if you listen. And for me, it's kind of taken me a while to really hear the call. I spent a lot of time in nature when I was young. After my mom passed away, I was alone a lot. My dad worked, and I remember struggling financially and kind of feeling lonely, but nature is where I always found happiness and freedom. And in 2008, I moved from Maine to Hawaii, intending to return to school after not finishing right when I got out of high school. And when I got here, it was actually the same time that the economy had slipped into a recession. So I found a job in a law office instead. And I kind of went on that path for a while. A few years into it, I realized it wasn't for me. It was the ethics of it, the hostility. It was, not anything that was really aligned with who I was. So I knew I needed to make some changes back toward my happiness and to what drives me to connect with the world and people. So that year I got married, I left my career, and I decided to go back to college to earn a degree, the degree I came here for. And it encompasses my love for nature and passion for animals. So that year I also had the fortune to go to Tanzania before I started school, and it changed my life. It was there I rediscovered my love for photography, and being surrounded in that wilderness, I felt my mom there with me. So I knew I was making the right choice to follow my heart back to nature, further wildlife, environmental, and cultural conservation. And I knew I wanted to combine these two passions. So since then, I've been studying and working toward a degree that I originally came to Hawaii for, and I'll be graduating in May. I've been building my photography, writing, and storytelling, and finding the confidence to share my view with the world and others. And I've been learning about myself and healing the things inside that have kept me from following this path and putting myself out there in a path that was meant for me. So I didn't even know that this was keeping me stuck until I met Danny. And it took me a long time to realize that childhood trauma of losing my mom has permeated many facets of my life choices. These images are some of my favorites, and these were all changing points in my life that really led me here and to find my happiness in what I'm meant to do. So I've been, finding healing through nature, meditation, and trusting the support and kindness of people around me. And especially in this mentorship group, it's allowed me to see my potential and given me the confidence to know that I have the power to act on it and to help others, animals, and the planet. I am so honored to share this time with this group, and I'm really grateful that the universe brought us together. I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you've brought to myself, and you've really helped spark my confidence. So thank you for allowing me to share this with you, and I hope that it leads you all to find your love for nature and inspiration to help the world as well.
Wow. Mahalo nui, Laura. Thank you so much for this beautiful presentation. Another just emotional story. And thank you so much for sharing. Your mother would be so proud of you, Laura. Like, you're just such a light in this world, and all of your heart goes into everything that you do. You're such a thoughtful person, and it really shines through in all of that you do. And I also just want to say, I'm so grateful I get to work with you now at Photographers Without Borders. I've actually been able to recruit a few of the people in Reclaim Power to Photographers Without Borders, which has been wonderful. So we get to continue these relationships. And I'm so grateful to you, Laura, for being part of this. You've added so much. Please go follow Laura. I just want to share another image here that she created during her Photographers Without Borders Art of Storytelling class. I just love this interaction and this connection here. So just want to say thank you. And this image is from a recent trip that she took to South Africa, where she worked with the Black Mambas, who are an all-female anti-poaching unit. So very, very good stuff, Laura. You've done so much this year. It's incredible. And the photography skills, like, come on. Look at this. This is what she gets to wake up to every day. But anyway. Oh, thank you so much, Laura. Is there anything else you wanted to share with us at this time?
I guess, this year I'm really excited, looking forward to some things that I wouldn't have put myself out there for. I'll be writing for a magazine about my time in South Africa and working with the Black Mambas. And I will also be going back to South Africa and working on some storytelling for a rhino anti-poaching group, and reconnecting with the Mambas and, doing an update and seeing how I can make some stories there as well.
Yep. And then we're going to apply for Nat Geo grants. We're going to apply for all kinds of things. And yeah, the story continues. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thanks for sharing this with us, everyone.
Wonderful. Okay, next up is going to be Lawrence Van Treek. Where are you at, my friend? There you are. And the floor.
Yeah. So with what I'm going to be sharing today, it's going to be pretty raw, because I feel like that's just kind of how I live my life, is very much in the raw. It's in the moment. And yeah, so my name is Lawrence. I'm a visionary, storyteller, and healer. And my entire being, since the day I was born, has really just wanted authenticity in every space that I'm in. And so I really feel like my purpose on this planet is to inspire others with my authenticity, with the goal being that other people feel like they can be authentic with me. I get to be authentic with others. And then together we will create a world that works for all of us. because if we're shutting someone down and we're not letting them be authentic, then we're missing out on making the world a better place for that person. And so tonight I wanted to share this exhibit called Bravery with you all. And so for the most part, when we think of bravery, we think of a soldier going to war, or somebody in a fight, or stepping up to a bully. And it is that, but it's not just about fighting. It's not just about war. It's not about aggression. I feel like bravery is when you can show up to your life with all of its pain, the ebbs and flows, all of the mystery and uncertainty that life has, that it's filled with. Showing up to your life with all of that is hard. And so it's brave. And so this is really about changing the narrative. And I want to bring us on a journey where we see the strength and bravery of showing up for ourselves and for our own healing. So this first image, so I'm going to get a little bit into the backstory, but first I want to say we're all given a set of circumstances with wounds, traumas, generational pain, and it is absolutely not our fault that we experience those things. Yet at the same exact time, we are all given the opportunity to reclaim the power that was taken from us, to walk in our healing, and to listen to the people who are the keys to healing and wholeness. And so my view is the people that are the keys to healing and wholeness are those who were harmed by whatever system. If you've been harmed, you're pretty much the only person that is seeing like the harm being done. You're the only one seeing the problem. And the only way to have a proper solution is to see the problem properly. So if you're not being harmed by the system, it's a lot harder for you to see the full nature of the problem. But the people that are the most harmed are the ones that see the problem the best. So those are the people we need to talk to when we are looking to come up with solutions. My belief is everyone has been harmed by some system, and everyone has the power to heal that system and their own like self. So, and obviously those with larger societal wounds are the people we need to listen to in order to start healing some of these bigger structures and the people that are harmed by these structures. So the question I want to ask is, will we participate, or will we keep passing on pains, wounds, and harm to the generations that come after us? So this photo series, I created it between 2 hospitalizations. I've struggled with mental illness since I was 9 or 10. And I've had hallucinations that entire time. I've had intense mood swings. At one point, I wasn't able to work for about 3 years because it was so intense for me. I mean, I was spending 10 hours a day crying in my parents' basement. The only time I would leave the house was to do healing work with like counseling and therapy and other stuff. I wasn't sleeping well. I was having suicidal ideation. I was having hallucinations. But I created this work initially taking a storytelling for change class with Photographers Without Borders. And I was like, you know what? I can't remember what the exact subject was, but you said something like create a story that is meaningful to you. And I was like, well, mental illness, I have to do it. So yeah, I guess as we kind of scroll down, this is just like a little bit of a story of what it looks like, my bravery during this time. So the first one was just me laying in bed. And I mean, I was feeling completely hopeless. I didn't know what I wanted to do, where I was going. And then this is like, I'm like, okay, I make the brave decision to get out of bed. And so, yeah. And then this next picture is like the pain that we all experience. I want to lead in authenticity with my pain so that I'm also leading in authenticity with my healing. And the only way to see the full picture of the healing is to see the full picture of the pain. So I want people to know that their pain is welcome with me. And then this next image is the heroic effort of feeling this brokenness and still feeling like I can stand up. And that's hard. That is hard. But that's what this whole journey has been really about for me, is the courage to stand up and know that other people have your back. So the next image is just me getting ready. I think I had a time where I was getting ready to enter back into society, because it was scary for me, honestly, because everyone had taboo stuff about my hallucinations and stuff that they had thoughts about. So this is me preparing and like getting mentally ready to go out into the world. And then this last image is I feel like where I'm at right now, because of this mentorship, is I feel like I'm ready to go out into the world and share the power and healing that I found. And just real quick, I've got a couple sentences I wanted to say as like a blessing over all of us. So may we all find peace. May we all find what we seek. May we show up in the present moment exactly as we are. May we spread the gift of compassion to self and to others. And may we heal that which was broken. Thank you guys for listening, and I appreciate everyone being here and supporting us. So yeah, you're going to hear from some amazing people coming up.
Laura! Oh my gosh, you give me chills every time I hear you speak. You're a prophetic visionary. You are a healer, a natural born healer. And I truly believe we are all healers. And your awareness of your gifts is so profound. And I truly believe that, you know, those of us, like you said, who have been harmed, or, you know, struggle with these, I always like to say it's not me, it's the world. Like about my mental health issues, or like my struggles with mental health. So, you know, these manifestations of the ills of society, I'll call it. I really appreciate you and for showing up the way that you do, because you allow the rest of us to also step into our gifts and to honor our pain and our healing, and just the whole gamut, and to invite that shifting in narrative. So thank you for being brave, Lawrence. Okay, next we're going to go to Nicole Sahilka, who I'm very excited to present, and who I now work very closely with, photography as well.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. Thank you everyone who shared so far. Lawrence, I'm gonna like openly acknowledge you for just what an incredible speaker you are and storyteller, and how vulnerably you share yourself for the benefit of all of us who are listening to you and anybody who encounters you. And I feel the same way about anybody in this program. I think what I'm especially present to now, having heard the majority of us speak, is the incredible transformation everyone has undergone in these last 11 months. And I remember us at the beginning of 2021 and where we were at and what we've gone through, and acknowledge each and every one of you for like taking yourselves on for the service of what you want to create in the world. And I keep hearing this theme of a world that works for everyone. And that's incredibly moving. And to know that there are people and leaders out there who are committed to that, like, I have faith in the world. Awesome. So I'll share a bit about my images and a bit about myself. Exactly, Danny. So my background is kind of like dualistic inside of being very technical and scientific, and also being an artist. Like I style myself the artist engineer. My training and my background is in engineering. And at the same time, I've always maintained a love for storytelling and for photography. I was enraptured as a child with National Geographic, and my grandfather had a bookcase of decades of National Geographic magazines organized in my grandparents' basement. And every time I would visit my grandparents on the weekend with my family, I would sneak down to the basement, climb the shelves, and pull down a new issue to peruse the incredible images and stories, and really like take my Sunday afternoons, kind of like what we're doing now, and travel the world through images. And that's something that I always maintained in my life. And I had the privilege of traveling with my family around Canada, around the world, discovering these exceptional places and having that be something that was shared with me of value, like having a relationship to the natural world and experiencing that, and being curious about people, about cultures, about the places that we go to, was always present in what my family was creating what my community was creating. And as such, when I look at my own storytelling as a photographer, it's really been focused on the relationships of humans with nature. I find it always comes back to that. And I'm also somebody who, as a leader, as somebody who is committed to the growth of everyone that I interact with and really wanting to hold other leaders up and having them succeed. It's that like empowerment and like having other people's visions succeed as well. So the work that I've been creating, especially over COVID, has been focused on that theme of humans relating to nature. And for myself, like I noticed that I was investing more heavily in my relationship to nature throughout the pandemic period. As someone who is very extroverted, not having like physical access to the people that I cared about was very difficult. As you can see, one of the things that I did during COVID was to get a dog. You may or may not hear her barking in the background. And that's something that I'd wanted to do for like the majority of my 30 years. One of my first words was dog. And the conditions aligned such that I could do that. And she's also been an exceptional partner in exploring the world and discovering new and natural places. And I was also with like my friends and the people in my life looking at how they were evolving their relationship. And the images that I've created are a expression of those intimate moments where they're connecting with nature. So if you scroll on, Danny. Yeah, so you've yet to meet her for some of you, but this is one of my dear friends, Paula, that I've met through this program. And this is an afternoon earlier in the spring where we visited a lilac dell at the Royal Botanical Gardens in Hamilton, Ontario. And just a beautiful afternoon of being with nature and being with like the joy that spring is. And like this is for me an expression of what it means to actually connect in that moment and like take very intentional time to be with an environment, to be with a process such as like spring unfolding itself and connecting in something that is actually very grounding versus just going about your day and not being present to what's happening. This is another friend of mine, Alex, and this is from an afternoon that we spent the summer visiting a lavender farm. And we went even though it had called for rain, and we embraced being in a lavender field in the midst of the rain and finding that joy. So that was an expression of that. Here's one of my friends holding my dog during a camping trip and like taking a very intentional moment after we'd set up our site and had dinner to go down to the water and connect with the moon, like something so simple that humanity's been doing for centuries, for us to take that moment where we may not be doing that in an urban setting. Here's an image of Danielle when I had the opportunity to visit her this past summer. And again, the simple act of like creating a fire and being together in a very, very basic like community setting and returning to that and the expression and beauty of what that looks like. And then finally, another image also at Danielle's of the Milky Way as it appeared on a very fortunate, clear evening that we had. And really like taking the opportunity to look up, like how often in your day are you stopping and like actually looking up and thinking of how often we forget to consider our place in the world and our place in the universe as we are so absorbed in our day-to-day activities and our tasks. It really, for me, was communicating that experience of connecting with something bigger than oneself. Yeah, and I'm complete.
And she's complete. Nicole, everyone. And by the way, if you want to hear more from Nicole, which I'm sure you do, then Tuesday, we're going to be having a Storytelling for Change session for Photographers Without Borders. You can register for free for that and learn more because Nicole is so much more than a photographer. She's also one of the most powerful communicators that I've ever met. And I'm so proud to I get to learn from you every day just by being in your presence. So
thank you.
Thank you for blessing us all.
Likewise. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Nicole. And thank you for your acknowledgements as well. You're also, I want to acknowledge you for just all the light that you bring and the guidance you've brought the group as well. Really appreciate you. Alrighty. So next we have the incredible Natasha Johnson, everyone. I cannot wait to hear from this one. All right. There you are. I'm going to unmute. There you go.
Yay. Okay. Right. Well, I've been hearing some great stuff. It's always uplifting to really consume other people's energy who mean well of you and who can really vouch for you and want to see you thrive. And that's what really has been happening in this group. We are, such amazing people. And I know everyone on this call is, and it's important to gravitate towards energy like that. And it's been really, really great. Before starting off, I just want to say, like, whoever you are, wherever you are, just love yourself, because life in itself is so very important. And I think we usually can let that slip away from us, especially what we see in the news. It can be a lot, but you are very important. And remember that your life journey is your own movie, and your movie is not done yet. And it's going to be very powerful once you finally, reach the end of it, however that is. It's going to, be beautiful, but have no fear, keep going, and love yourself. And that brings me to say that my life's journey has impacted me as well. Things haven't always been steady, but I met so many people that were that great energy that came in my life that really wanted to help me succeed. So my name is Natasha Johnson. I love Danny. I love everyone in this group. I'm a multimedia artist and educator. I love helping people. I really love helping people because, like, all of the people who help me, why not? It's like I need to do that, and that's my duty. That consists of, teaching young kids about photography, digital media, the visual arts, all of that stuff, and graphic design, because I love that. As far as my multimedia work, I am a photographer, a filmmaker. I love graphic design, the visual arts, you name it, but I combine it all together. With my skills and talents, it has pushed me to create bodies of work, major bodies of work that really make an impact, okay? Now, for example, I'm a nonprofit founder. That is the SMART Project. I love helping the youth, once again, because they're very funny, first of all. I got a few gray hairs, but it's always amazing though. It's a beautiful thing. So I started the nonprofit because of the inspiration that I received growing up, because of that seed my mom planted that teachers watered along the way, like Mrs. Grisby, who I've found and kept in contact with. And the SMART Project is really aimed to give kids in the same communities that I grew up in, the same community where I was impacted, that same foundation and creative access to, really fun artistic learning. That's one body of work, or just one major project. And then it also leads me to how I utilize my multimedia skills to produce huge photographic bodies of work, one of them being the self-publication. That is a challenge in itself, but very, very mentally rewarding, right? And it deals with stories and images from those in the Black community, helping them heal, helping them share their stories so other people could pick up that book and resonate with them. With that project, I documented over 40 people. I'm almost done with volume 3. And, it's just beautiful stories. It's a mixture of so many different people who identify in different ways in the Black community as a way to share, to heal, and to help them realize that they are special. That is a combination of video as well. One recent body of work is the Beauty of South Dallas. In South Dallas is where I met Mrs. Grisby, one of the teachers who inspired me to create the SMART Project. You see what I mean? And with that body of work, I went out into the community because the voices matter, and it's currently, facing development, gentrification in many ways that could impact the current residents there. But what I'm doing with that body of work is really showcasing the beauty there, because it's not a dangerous neighborhood at all. It's beautiful. And I came from there, and other people matter as well. And seeing all of the artists who are now creating things surrounding that area is very amazing. Now, with all of that work, and it could be pull me different ways, trust me, schedule is super tight, but I never forget the power of nature. And you'll see in the photographs here how I've been out in nature and documenting and really, capturing how it intertwines with the human form and how special it is to us. And if you think about nature in itself, it heals us, and it can heal the mind, and we must take care of it. And if we can take care of nature, we can take care of each other. I believe that the creator of this universe really truly believes in us, and we have to be nice and we have to show empathy and love, because if we don't, that will ultimately end in our demise, and we don't want that to happen. We want this place to grow healthy. We want it to continue on long when our entities are not here, so that it can make an impact in those who deserve it, you know? These photographs here mean a lot to me. When I'm feeling down, when any of us are feeling down, go out into nature, because it will really help heal you. I know for me, being a part of this cohort as well has helped me appreciate the time that we need to take to ourselves, and not letting anxiety make us feel that we need to do everything in the now, but to really focus, take your time, and then things will, you know, excel and thrive in due time. And remember, and I told this group a long time ago, someone told me that in due time you will shine like wine, and you will, you know, just keep the faith and love yourselves. And these photographs are a part of me. The people that I, you know, documented and utilized for these images are just as special, and I hope they continue to thrive and do what they have to do. This one is very special to me because it's, you know, a very great entity in this photograph, but Earth is inside of us all, and I believe love is too, so we have to cherish that. But I wanted to say it's nice being here. Thank you all for joining, and it's some beautiful working people in this group.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Natasha. You're such a good friend and artist and mentor to everyone around you, especially the youth. And so I just want to like reiterate. So Natasha and I met a few years ago. We were the first Sony Alpha Female winners of the Sony Alpha Female Award. And it was such a fun ride to be part of that with you. And I've watched her grow a not-for-profit, a 501c3 registered charity in the States called The Smart Project, published 3 magazines called The Self Publication, like that she mentioned. She's also doing all kinds of work for different newspapers and publications and her own work. And then on top of that, she's doing this Beauty of South Dallas project, trying to bring that Beauty of South Dallas out. And then she's also out there finishing her MFA and I don't know, sometimes lecturing or something at university. Yeah. We do all kinds of things. It's wild. So thank you for putting your spirit and your love of nature into everything that you do. Like, I'm just so in awe of you. Thank you.
No, yeah, and I love you. Thank you for being that guidance and thinking of us and helping. And most definitely take a break and get into some nature, everyone, because it's important. It'll keep you level.
Take a break, take care of your mental health, focus on the present. I love it. Love it. All right, well, go follow Natasha, please, and all of her wonderful projects. Next, we have Paula. You've heard a little bit about Paula from other folks, and now you get to hear from her yourself. Welcome to you, Paula.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm a mix of like excited, nervous, and awe-inspired of everyone that has shared their stories so far, so vulnerably, so bravely. And I want to thank all of you for showing up, for being here, for listening, for just, you know, feeling like we can feel the support, we can feel the love, and that means a lot for all of us. And so what I want to speak to you about today is magic, the mystical, really, you know, looking beyond the veil, looking beyond what you see, but also just coming back home to yourself and actually remembering that magic, it's inside of you. So my name is Paula Diku, and I'm coming to you as a fine art fairy tale photographer, as an inner child coach, as a soul, as a dreamer, a water spirit, you know, like so many assets, you know, we're all multidimensional. But, you know, ever since I was a little kid, I've always been so interested and drawn to fairy tales, you know, to stories of dragons, of mermaids, of warriors, of all these mystical creatures and beings. And, you know, as part of my journey and later on, I sort of thought, well, what if all of these monsters and these heroes, they're all fragments of our own being? You know, it's all inside of us. It's really, truly home. And I've been on quite the journey of coming home to myself, of self-love, you know, like, because I do believe that the way that we show up in the world is a reflection of our own inner world. And that's definitely something that, you know, I'm still growing in. I'm still learning each and every single day. You know, like I'm here before you right now, and I could say, you know, like I'm still even now learning how to be firm in myself, you know, and how to really show up. And everything that I do, though, I mean, I also teach from my own life experience when it comes to photography, when it comes to coaching. I mean, I wouldn't even be where I am right now if it weren't for my mentors, you know, like Danny, and my coaches and my friends and my loved ones who believed in my own magic. And I really want, you know, and I'm hoping to inspire with my art and with my coaching for all of you to remember that magic that's just beneath the surface. It's just beneath, it's there. It just needs a little bit of attention, a little listening to. It just needs a hug. That's all I need, you know, like it just needs you to know that like I'm here for you and you're showing up for yourself. So, you know, part of my own transformation in my art, it comes from years of disconnection, years of numbing, years of, you know, neglecting myself truly, right? Like I was there all along, but I also have an autoimmune disorder called Crohn's disease. And, you know, there's a, you know, the mind and gut connection. I'm still to this day learning about that. But it's definitely part of what brought me here, because I always found safety in art, in creation, and connection. And most importantly, even in water, because anyone that knows me knows water, in water, below water, touching water, bathtub, shower, lake, like I'm there, I'm here for it. And so at 6 a.m. in the winter, that is something that I'm doing right now. Yes, that is a ritual I've done. And so the art that I'm sharing with you today in this exhibit is a little glimpse into my soul and into my transformation. You know, I feel like I've often put on so many masks, right? Like it was so many layers and layers, like an onion, we're all onions, like so many layers, and like lifting that mask up, you know, like, and showing up in the way that you want to be seen, in the way that you want to be felt. I love onions too. I love a good stir fry. And you know, this art that, yeah, I've created, it's a little depiction of my own journey. And it's the journey that I'm here to help support others with as well, you know, and like documenting your own transformation and the way that you want to be seen, because we all want to be seen so uniquely different. And so Danny, if you could just scroll down a little bit just to go through all of the images of the water and just feeling, connecting, the motion, you know, like in being disconnected to my body, I've been learning how to like really love it now, you know, like what does it mean to be in my body? Like, what is this feeling like? What does it mean to be alive? So that's definitely, yeah, a really big part of it. Just all beneath the surface, the glimmers and the sparkles just beneath the water. And I also included a poem that you can read at your own time with every single one of these images. Diving deeper and deeper into the abyss. Yeah.
I love that. You are home.
Yeah, you are home.
Beautiful, beautiful series of work, beautiful poetry, beautiful you, Paula. I mean, so many people have said it in the chat already, but you exude magic. and lightness, and it's so much fun to be around you. So thank you so much for this beautiful series of work. Paula just learned how to do underwater photography this year, so like very impressive, especially in a tea-colored river. So well done. Please go follow Paula. She's also the co-founder of a podcast, and I expect that you should go check that out too. Paula, please share the link for us, if you can, because we should all go follow your podcast as well. Thank you so much, Paula. And just want to see, we have 2 more people left and 2 very special people, so I want to give them ample time to share. And next we have Vanessa Misko Baneshikwe.
Hi, everyone. I am definitely overwhelmed with the energy and emotions of everyone's projects. So I was given 5 minutes. I'm just going to get right into it. And Danny, if you wouldn't mind just slowly scrolling through while I speak. Ani Menado Beneshi Dishnakas. Hello, my name is Spirit Bird. The English name given to me at birth is Vanessa Young. I come from the traditional territory of Robinson Huron Treaty 6 and the unceded territory of Wikwemkong. Through my journey, I have experienced the survival of genocide and intergenerational trauma. And through time, I have harnessed the gifts given to me by ancestors and the Creator. I know I must do what the great leaders did and survive. I started by learning my history and traditional culture and land-based skills. And I find a path of righteousness through ways of life that complete me. I reclaim identity through education with elders, creating a timeline of significant events throughout my communities, which drives me forward to the defense and protection of all lands and water. I work to find out the true history of where I come from, which helps me find purpose. I believe in healing traumas in our DNA through culture. Land-based skills provide survival through poverty and the elements. And as a grassroots leader, bringing awareness to the damaging effects of resource extraction and pollution in our communities. I strive to educate those around me about the current events taking over our lands and polluting our water. I'm working on Menado Beneshi Dreams, which provides accessible healing through arts and food sovereignty, the safe, inclusive space for all to create, learn, and heal. And together with an art collective with the core of women, bringing a civilization of revitalization. In this project, I have taken on many roles. I promote and help communities build food sovereignty for sustainable living, the teaching of urban areas to reclaim land by foraging gardens. And the goal is to help communities provide accessible, healthy, organic food. This year, an experience in cranberry harvest, which is what we're looking at in these photos, has rejuvenated energy to continue the resistance against threats on our communities. You can find out more by reading about this experience on reclaimpower.co site, which is the site that we're on right now. It is not just for me, but for generations to come. So whether unceded or signed treaties, we all fight for our human rights. And the integration of all communities is imperative for the betterment of all for Mother Earth. Our traditions are vital for the land and communities to survive. And the survival of our traditions and culture proves to be the only way for healing to happen. The education of surrounding communities brings awareness for our fight for inherited rights, showing we come forward for the children with love and care of the land. Children and youth are the future of us, carrying our legacies through time, same as I do for our past and present relations. I myself, I do not have kids, but I do have nieces and nephews. And when I see a community that is dying and the land that is in jeopardy, I need to act. Since I was young, it has been a dream to continue learning the old ways. In reality, this is a forbidden culture, and we are the original land stewards. I move forward with love to create a world of equality for all walks of life. I see corruption and greed taking away the survival of future generations. You have more land than our original land and water protectors, and it's greedy that you ask for more, invading and taking what does not belong to you. Let's stand in solidarity and call to action. Learn the traditional territory you are on and who it belongs to. Find ways to give back to those communities, such as giving land back or contributing to Indigenous artists, or raising awareness in your areas of the calls to action. We are warriors, but we are not here to war. We are here to care for the sacred. We are here to pray with our song and dance. We're upholding peace through awareness education of your true history. Respect that we never give up. We welcome all to survive in this beautiful world in peace, trading our heartfelt gifts of the land. I stand up against the systems that are up against me every day. And to all my relations, we no longer need to hide. Traditional wear is acceptable to follow the ancestors' footsteps. Wear it any day, not just for ceremonies. We all have roles to gift and it's in our DNA. Our ancestors guide us and protect us if we believe. It is continuous connection between mind, body, and soul. Concerning the relation to the land, the red road is our way to continue the right path with help. And it is our knowledge to continue surviving greed and corruption. We have a choice. Are you going to choose life for the future? I love, overcome, heal, and help. I choose old ways because it's me following my heart, looking for ways to help the communities in healthy healing. And if you would like to know more, I am on Instagram at Misko Baneshikwe. Reach out for more ways to help and give back. Consider donating to Misko Baneshikwe Dreams and help others dream of a world we can all live together in harmony, paying homage to the 7 generations past and the 7 generations ahead. Miigwech, and I thank you all for taking this time today to be with us. You have all made a difference in my life today, each and every one of you. Thank you for being here.
Wow, thank you for that powerful medicine, Vanessa. You are such a light in this group, and you've really kept us grounded in our purpose. And also, like, I just want to acknowledge you for really stepping into your power this year and moving forward in such a beautiful way. And I'll always be here to support you, and I know the rest of the group will too. So you have our support, and yes, land back. Do whatever you can, you know, everyone here, to acknowledge and also uplift those communities that are trying to get their land back, and however we can, in whatever small ways, big ways, you know, using our privilege to move those structures. Yeah, that's an invitation that I think is worthy, a worthy invitation. Thank you so much. Chimigwech.
Thank you.
And I'm muted. This brings us to our final participant. This is going to be a very special one because Winona was actually part of my first cohort and is now coming on for the second year. And so I'm really excited to hear what you have to say, Winona. And please, I know we're already at 3 p.m. Eastern, but we're going to take the time to listen, and we will still take the time to answer questions for a few moments afterwards. So thank you, Chimigwech, and that's all yours.
Thank you so much for that. Hello, everyone. Ani Bojo. My name is Misko Baneshikwe. I was given that name in ceremony. And my English name as well is Winona, but though it is in English, it's still connected with other tribes in the US, which is Winona, which means firstborn daughter. I am a Two-Spirit Anishinaabe from Manitoulin Island, also known as Minnow Minis. I have a deep connection with being home and finding my culture and everything. I'm from Makumakong unceded territory on Manitoulin, and I've come to find my why and my purpose to connect myself with the youth and finding a place for them within my culture. I went to school in outdoor education at Fleming College. I also went to visual communications program. I'm actually involved with a lot of my community work now, and I've used my why and purpose to really start something new, which is something totally out of my comfort zone. And coming out into myself, I've been able to work to start a business, and everything has kind of like worked up to this time where it's something brand new and new beginnings, and it's exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. But I know that now that my power and essence and what my purpose and why is to have this out for my community, for the youth and the next generation. And I guess I've also been on a spiritual journey as well. And not having a deep connection with my culture growing up. We were raised very Catholic, but learning in my culture, I've come to understand the medicine wheel that we have teachings about. There's 4 concepts within the medicine wheel. There's a lot of concepts and within it, but what I've done to show for my exhibit is the elements of the medicine wheel. And these elements represent the earth, air, water, and fire. And also there's also aspects within the mental, physical, emotional, and mental well-being of ourselves. So I'm showcasing this medicine wheel and capturing through photography. And I had a friend who was here recently. She's here, Paula. She was here with me, and she really helped me to capture some of these essence that I've been learning and seeing and doing for myself. I have here is earth and body, which is the physical aspect of ourselves, and it's really trying to capture the grounding and physical being of being in nature, being appreciative, and looking at the magic and wonder and curiosity that we have here. Just being in the forest and looking at the tall maple trees was really grounding, and just being in nature has really helped me to ground myself. Here I was at actually Cup and Saucer with Paula, and it was just like misty. So it was like we couldn't see a view, but it was still kind of like magical just to see nothing, or there's just a mist of a drop and then mist. So it was very magical. I thought that was really nice. And this represents the air and mind, a mental being. And really, even though it's a clouded photo, but a lot of the times we are clouded by stuff that blocks our mind, and we have to really look out for our wellness and clarity, respect, and kindness to ourselves, and to really maybe talk to a friend, or to really help ourselves in troubled times and to get rid of those negative thoughts. I've been on a journey of trying to find myself with my voice and sharing what I need to share and not holding back. And I've been able to share this moments with them, like with people and beings of the really close friends and family. The spirit of water. And it's very powerful, water. As many people already said on here, there's beings here that are gravitated to water, where water is life, water is everything. Water is our whole being of this earth. It's a bloodline. and to be in this at home in Wikumkong and having to be around the waterfall. Bridal Veil Falls is on Manitoulin Island, and just having that power just come down, and the essence of like emotional healing, to love yourself, to be grateful for yourself, and just to give that compassion and love to yourself. And so this is a fire element. It is also the heart, your emotional, I believe. Can you go down a little bit? Yeah, and you know, as a fire, and you look at this element, the fire is in all of us. And as a human being spirit, and having this emotional experience, human life experience, we all carry that love and compassion to ourselves and to others. We're continually growing to new experiences, to new life, to new experiences and new opportunities. And I really have been able to feed my fire a lot, like this past few years, past life, and learning about myself, learning and healing. So I really give myself the thanks that I need, and give that thanks to that fire that I have in myself to continue for myself, for my family, for my generations, for my cousins and my community. Yeah, and like, I really want to just leave a message of like, how will you feed your fire? You know, how are we gonna leave our mark here? How are we gonna leave our legacy, I guess? You know, and on being on the spiritual journey and being on this path of success and trying to do something new that's out of my comfort with a new business. Everything has just come together for myself that I know that feels good. It's exciting and new, and I'm proud of myself. And I'm proud of everyone else that is here that has done their magic and their utmost purpose and why. And I'd like to thank Danielle for feeding my fire as well, and for the community within that I've been able to look at and find my culture with elders and teachers, and the friends I have here that have helped me to ground myself, to find the magic in everything, for all the people who are telling their stories and their purpose. And I say, all in all, like really, I just feed your body, mind, and spirit and heart. And I always say miigwech and miigwech for everything.
Oh, Winona, and miigwech to you and for being here when I know that you're not well, and like you're just such a beautiful spirit. Thank you so much for this. You really rounded it off in such a beautiful way, and I couldn't have asked for a better start to a close of this beautiful session. So thank you for feeding all of our fire, Winona. You've definitely fed mine. You've been here for me in so many ways, and like you've just helped me transform and grow, and I know that everyone else would say the same in their group. So yes, chi miigwech. You're so appreciated and loved in this world. And I want to thank all of you for being here and for listening and for taking the time to share with us and share your spirits as well, and for being, you know, energetically supportive of everyone who's been here, for sharing in the comments and in the chat. I do want to open it up to questions. So if anybody has any questions, please do share them in the chat. And before I start moderating, and I just want to say, if anyone needs to jump off, please feel free, no judgment, including any of the mentees. I know that we said we would be here for 2 hours, so I want to honor that. But I do want to also invite anyone to stay on for another 10 minutes as we answer some questions and just go around the group. Before we do that, I just want to quickly make an announcement, and that is that the 2022 cohort applications are now open. So you can go to my website, it's danielledasilva.com. /reclaim power. So if you or anyone else you know thinks that they could benefit from this, please, please, please do apply. It's really simple. You can just go to the website and take a look. You can also follow me at Danielle Khan Da Silva on Instagram if you want to just check out my link tree there. And I also want to invite you all to go and check out the website for this exhibition. It's now open to the public. And after this presentation is complete, we are going to save the recording and upload it to that page, to that website as well, on the About page. So I just want to say yes. And especially Heather had a video that didn't get played here, but I want you to go watch that. It's a letter to our future generations. It's really beautiful and really, I think, is a great way to end us all off here as well. So again, just remembering our intention from earlier, you know, as we go forward, to start reimagining or imagining the world that we want to live in. And yeah, that's the announcement I wanted to make. So please do share, please do apply if this is something that you want to be a part of next year. The keys to your power are within you, and we want to help unlock those doors. So I have a question for the entire group. And so you can just unmute and answer as we always do. I'm gonna unpin myself. Yes, gallery view. Oh, so many people here. One question to the entire group is, how do you see yourselves moving forward, and what are you most excited about next? And I encourage the entire audience to ask any questions in the chat as we're going, and I will try to answer them all.
So I guess I can start. So what was the first part of that? So the second part's going into the future. Like where do I feel like I'm at now?
Yeah, where do you?
Is that what you were saying?
What are you most excited about going forward?
The thing I'm most excited about going forward is, I think, I have a way bigger and better understanding of myself and like what drives me, what motivates me, and like what I feel like my purpose is. And so the thing I'm most excited about is having consistency moving forward, because that's something I've always lacked. And I think it's because I always call into question my identity. But this has really helped me like solidify that. And so I feel like I'm going to be able to be more consistent moving forward. And I would say that's probably the thing I'm most excited about.
Awesome. I can't wait for all of it, Lawrence. Incredible. Does anybody else want to share how they're feeling going forward into the future?
Sure, I can share some. I think just moving forward, I'm excited to see what all the future brings, and just feeling more empowered and more prepared to be able to move forward with everything that I'm creating, and just kind of have some more confidence in myself, and also knowing better how to reach out to the community around me for support when I need it. So yeah, just
that's huge. That's huge, Alexa. Thank you. I know Natasha, you wanted to say something.
Hey, Alexa, follow after all of you great people. But I just wanted to say, moving forward, just keeping most definitely a clear and positive mind, because sometimes you can get down or feel down on your luck, but remembering every single day you wake up is truly a blessing, and to fill more of your time, and I'm saying this as I'm giving advice, I'm saying this to myself, to truly give more time to the happy things. And when you do that, then everything else will be okay. So moving forward, just really, zoning in, loving every single breath that I take and loving what I've accomplished, and accomplishments don't have to be anything massive, but it's things that bring us joy and make us happy. That's what true success is, it's really what makes us happy. So moving forward, I plan on just spreading love to myself and to the people that I interact with.
Thank you. Yeah, spread love. That's what you are. You are love. So that's wonderful. And I have another question. You can either answer that question or you can answer this other question. What reflections are you sitting with after these last 2 hours? What's something that's like on your heart or in your mind that you want to share?
Okay, so the first question was what we're excited for and what we're going to be doing. So I'm really excited to really solidify this project, and it's come a long way over the year, and you have all helped me believe in myself. You have all helped me to find different ways and different perspectives on how to bring this message out. And, I honestly needed to take this 5 minutes today to really explain like who I am and where I come from and why I do these things. And so knowing that, I was able to inspire a few people, and I've already talked to some people who, want to look at changing their communities and, want to help their communities in the same way. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, is helping other communities embrace that same change and accept that healing. And what was the last question you asked?
What reflections do you have? What's on your heart or on your mind after this last 2 hours?
So I am really processing everything. I'm feeling so much emotion that I know I have to reflect on how I'm going to move forward in a good way, but not in a way that is going to make people feel like it's something that, is pressured, or something that, they can accept in their own time, so being able to have it being optional for people to come and learn what they want to learn and learn when they want to learn, and creating a safe, inclusive space for people who need that accessible art healing and food sovereignty. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, is learning more and working with the people and making it work for the people, So thank you everyone for your contributions to this project. You have all made a difference, and you continue to do that. So love you all.
Oof, I can feel that ripple effect of all of this just spreading outwards, and the way that you're going to keep magnifying your power to others. Beautiful. Thank you. Anya.
Yeah, just in terms of reflections, I just wanted to say how incredibly proud and impressed and honored being in this group and watching everyone kind of step up and showcase themselves and their work. I think sometimes a big part of this community that we have is, kind of holding space for each other in those really sort of vulnerable times. And it kind of feels like, for a big part of the year, we have shared our fears and all, these things which are holding us back, and then, and also anxieties and anticipations, and seeing everyone today kind of just step into their power. And I'm in a way, I'm sort of disappointed that this is happening at the end and not at 6 months. I don't know, Danny, maybe that's an idea for the next one. Because it's just I kind of can't believe that any of us were ever nervous about doing this. And I'm just kind of guys, look at yeah, I don't know. I'm just and I think that's testament also to how many incredible leaders exist in the world who actually don't ever take that step and don't ever sort of, and the fact that this is, it's reclaiming power. So Danny, that's obviously you kind of acknowledging and seeing in the world people with incredible potential and ideas and kind of change makers who, for whatever reasons, I know for myself, staying in the shadows. So yeah, I just wanted to say I'm kind of just here like, look at what are you guys hiding in some ways. Like really, honestly, like, yeah. But yeah, congratulations. I'm super proud and honored to be in your presence.
Exactly how I was feeling the entire time. And every word you just said absolutely resonates. And one of my gifts is that I can see the potential in other people. Like I can truly see your greatest potential. And my goal with this is really to help people realize it. And one of the other gifts I have is to actually see the potential, but also see the steps that need to happen, and just to help guide folks, you know, in that direction. So it's all you, though, really. I mean, really, you know, for stepping into that power and for making all the decisions you made to be here today. That's all you. So just want to say that. Thank you, Anya. Damari.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of second that. Like, I just feel like what I took from not only today, but like just the entire year is that the value in mentorship. I really think, like Anya was saying, like we dealt a lot with our fears, and usually that it's a common thing. It's like you're too scared to do something because 9 times out of 10 you'll probably most likely succeed, and then it's dealing with all of the success, everything that comes with success, which scares you even more. It's like, if I'm successful, then I gotta talk, or I have to mentor other people, and then it's like if something happens and I'm not successful at that, then that affects me. Like, it's just so many layers of fear, and it's like I think that's what we all dealt with this year, and it still comes up, and it will, but it's like it's going to feel different in how you tackle it. But I just feel like if you or you know, anyone who sees this or anyone who's currently watching, it's just like if you have something that it is that you want to do, and you feel like you need that extra push, then even if it's like you're not sure, you're not certain, I think like that's where mentorship comes into play. Like Danielle said, it's just like some people are just like really, really good at this, and Danny is one of them at really like challenging you and pushing you to the point of where you probably sometimes feel uncomfortable, but it's like you do it anyway because that's her job is to do that. And so I just think that there is a massive value into mentorship to kind of really push you to, you know, the points where like that were always there, you just can't really see it because you're too fearful of things. So
Said it beautifully, Damari. You know, and we all experience fear. We all experience blocks. We all experience, you know, myself included, like all the time, every day, sometimes. But the way, like I think Winona said it, sitting with fear now is totally different than how I would before, right? Because when you have the tools to deal with those blocks and to acknowledge them as what they are and not to be afraid of them, to embrace them, as Paula would say, to embrace the monster within, under the bed or wherever, then things become possible. All becomes possible. And it's just that you are all a testament to that. So I don't have to say much more. Winona.
Yeah, just in saying about fear and like I think like for me it was like thinking back about my high school and like not having a voice and being like the native kid in high school, and just stepping into like more myself and being more authentic myself and using my voice and being grateful for my voice now and being able to share in what I want the world to be and being my authentic self and trying to use that voice now. Because I could say like I'm a Two-Spirit, I'm Anishinaabe, I'm proud, I'm Indigenous, and just more caring to myself and being more grateful for my voice now, because I would never have used that before. Like it really is a big game changer for me because I was always internally just by myself. I would like not speak in public situations before. So I've been able to use that, and I'm so proud of myself, proud of everyone here also doing that. And I thank you again.
It means a lot to me. It means a lot to everyone else. And I really appreciate you all and respect every single one of you. I admire every single one of you, and I'm always going to be here for every single one of you. So, and I encourage you all to just, this isn't the end, by the way, for all of you who are still watching. We are at a month out from our last session together, but we will always be friends. And I appreciate you all. And like Anya said, like, you are all the leaders of tomorrow and today, and to all of those leaders out there, who are just potentiating and waiting to be awakened, say hello. Say hello. It's a friendly space. It's a very friendly, welcoming space. So, all right. In the interest of respecting everyone's time, I'm going to say that this beautiful exhibition launch is now complete, and you can all go visit the exhibition on your own time. It is now public. So please share, spread the love, spread the word, and have a wonderful, wonderful week and a wonderful year ahead. All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you for being here. See you later. Bamapi. Bye-bye.